Okay, good evening and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry that it's been so long. It has literally been a month or so since I posted and I've really missed YouTube, to be honest. I think I felt a little bit kind of chaotic and like I just haven't had time to kind of sit down and have a proper chat and then edit it, because obviously like short form content is a lot quicker to edit and post than like a YouTube video. And to be honest, my life has been amazingly busy, which I'm really not used to. If you've been following me, you'll know that a year ago I struggled to even leave the house, so saying yes to things was very hard. But I've actually found in the past month I've probably said yes to more than I should have done, and I've ended up struggling a little bit with, I don't want to say burnout, but like I just haven't been able to focus on like YouTube really at all. But yeah, the weather is literally disgusting today, so if you can hear rain in the background, apologies. I've tried to go for like a cozy vibe, because for me when it's grey I have to go like the complete other way and be like, right, it's cozy season, we've got to light candles, put lamps on, snuggle up. All of that aside, I thought today I would film a little Q&A. I thought we could do a little life update. I haven't really done a Q&A life update in a while, so I asked for some questions on Instagram and I haven't actually looked at any of them yet. So there's usually an overwhelming amount of questions because you guys are actually the best. So yeah, I've just got a bunch of Instagram questions that I'm gonna answer. First one's first, and I feel like this is a very good one to start with. How are you doing? I kind of did just touch on that, so I'll keep this quite brief. I'm doing generally so incredibly well. I started new medication in December, which was ADHD medication, and my life has just been like on the up ever since. I'm not putting it solely down to that, because I have also had a lot of positive changes in my life, like me and my boyfriend moved out, and although my parents are some of the best people in the world, I think having my own space has forced me to be a lot more independent, and obviously I've been working on becoming independent, and I'm just absolutely loving having kind of my space to make cozy. And so that has definitely really helped my mental health, along with saying yes to a lot more things and becoming a lot more busy, which has kind of helped with distracting me, I think, from a lot of the stuff that goes on in my head on a day-to-day basis. But the ADHD medication has made a huge difference. Things just aren't so draining for me anymore. I used to be able to make one plan in a day and I'd need the next day or two to recover from it, whereas now it's like I could see a friend in the morning and do something in the afternoon and have a plan the next day, and it's not too much. As I said, I have probably been saying yes to a little bit too much, but that is purely because I haven't had a normal life for a very long time. I kind of was in and out of hospital for like 2 years, and then it was COVID. And then I got, you know, life got back to normal and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I don't know how to function. So I'm not really used to that anyway. So although I have probably been saying yes to too much, I have been able to say yes to so much more, and it has been helping my mental health so much. So generally I'm like the happiest I've ever been, and I'm doing really, really well. Although I do have bad days. Like yesterday was a terrible day and I had to just write it off. So I do think it's important to like normalize that we are gonna have bad days, but generally my life is so much better than it was, and my social media stuff is going amazingly well, and I'm just so happy really. Any achievements during March, big or small, just anything you're proud of? March is right now. I keep thinking we're in April. I mean, we nearly are, which is terrifying. Actually, yeah, I've had a lot of big achievements in March. One of them is like a huge achievement, work related, I guess, but I actually can't share it. So I'm gonna be that annoying person and be like, I've got a big project that I'm working on, but like I do. And I will tell you about it the second I can, because I'm so excited. But big achievements, I've been up to London alone so much. I've met new people. In February, I flew to Edinburgh with my boyfriend and I did my first ever in-person event. It was a talk about eating disorders and PTSD at Edinburgh Uni, which obviously was in February, but March has just been a blimmin' whirlwind. I met with the US Surgeon General in London to talk about mental health and loneliness and stuff, and that was like an incredible experience. I'll put a picture of me here. It was the most random thing in the world. Like probably 5 of us kind of content creators or activists around mental health sat around a table, and then the US Surgeon General in his hat and his uniform just like walked in to the park and we had a conversation. It was like a weird fever dream, but it was an incredible experience, so I'm very proud of that. There's just been a lot going on really. How's life been since moving out? Do you ever get homesick? Homesick? No, actually, and I kind of feel mean saying that. I miss my parents and I miss my dog, but I don't feel homesick. Even though we've only lived here for a couple months, it feels like home, and the place we live now feels so right. And I was actually saying this to my mum yesterday. She was saying it feels like you've lived here forever, and I was like, same, because I just feel so comfortable here, and it just feels so right. Like this is a safe space for me, and usually it takes me a long time to kind of find a place that I feel safe, but here it just feels so perfect. So I don't really feel homesick. I think also because I have spent so much time away from home when I was unwell, and I had already moved out before moving back, if you know what I mean. Generally moving out has just been the best thing. I just feel amazing. What is your favourite thing to do when you're bored? You may have seen on my Instagram, I think I've posted it on there. Whenever I'm bored now, I immediately go to Sims. So I was like obsessed with The Sims 3 when I was like 11 or 12 or maybe even younger. And then I got Sims 4 and I played it for ages. And then I got back into it in lockdown. But the laptop I was playing it on was so slow. So then I just gave up with it. And then I found out I could re-download it on my Mac. And I've just been like literally obsessed with it. Like if I go a day without playing Sims, I start like missing it. I don't know if that's bad, but my like go-to thing at the moment is playing Sims. And my boyfriend pointed out that it was really funny that the thing I do to unwind from life is play a simulation of life. And I feel like there's probably something to unpack there, but we won't deal with that right now. If you could wake up tomorrow and have any skill for a hobby, what would it be? Do you know what? Recently, I have actually been getting into like, I don't want to say like graphic design because I feel like that one meme. That's not what I mean, but like I have been really loving making things on Canva. This is not a Canva ad, by the way, although this video is sponsored by Skillshare. So thank you so much to Skillshare for that because I love Skillshare. But yeah, I've been really into like making things on Canva. So it was my dad's birthday earlier in the month and me and my brother wanted to book him a trip away, but like we haven't booked it yet, so we couldn't like print out flight details or anything. So I made him this voucher on Canva. I was just like, it was just so fun to me. It was like, it scratched an itch in my brain. I've always loved that kind of like graphic design side of things. But I have actually, talking about Skillshare, been using Skillshare to kind of better my Canva skills. If you go on Skillshare, they have so many like Canva tutorials because it can be a little bit hard to get your head around to start with. But yeah, I've been using Skillshare to like better develop that. I do sometimes think I probably should have gone down the like graphic design route when I was at school because I just really enjoy it and I love it. As someone who kind of lives in an area where like I can't really go out and do like skill classes, if you know what I mean, having it online is the best thing. And I think I've said before, but I'm the sort of learner who needs to be able to dip in and dip out and not have pressure on me. So yeah, Skillshare has been like so perfect for me for that. And they have so many classes for so many different skills, hobbies, topics. I've used it for journaling, I've used it for Canva, as I said, I've used it for editing my videos, I've used it for so much. It has been such an incredible source of knowledge for me, and they have these learning pathways now, which means that instead of like, you know, when you would go on YouTube and be digging about for tutorials on 100 different things, they've literally streamlined it for you and it's so good. I will leave my Skillshare link in the description, and actually the first people to use the link will get a whole month of Skillshare free. So yeah, if you want to check out Skillshare, that will be in the description. And thank you again for continually working with me because it means that I can keep creating these videos, but also that I can share a really helpful platform with you. There's literally, I scrolled to the very bottom of these questions, but like, I'm overwhelmed. I actually love this one. If a magical witch was trying to summon you, what 3 things would she put in the cauldron? That's such a specific question. I've never been asked that in my life before. Sims 4 on Mac. Probably Coke Zero. Is that bad? I can't get through the day without a Coke Zero. This is hard. The juice of Sims 4. Coke Zero. And I wouldn't want her to put a jelly cat in the cauldron. I don't know, the fur of Highland Cow without hurting a Highland Cow. I feel like those 3 things like sum me up at the moment. This is a good question. How does it feel like, yeah, how does it feel to be a full-time influencer? I'd imagine it's not what you'd expect it to be. I actually find it hard to call myself an influencer because I really don't like connect with that label. I don't know if it's because there is kind of judgment around the word influencer. Like, I think when you say the word influencer, what comes to mind is somebody making bucket loads of money from posting about what clothes they wear or something. I am not slagging off influencers that do that because there are influencers that I absolutely love that do that. I was a Zoella fanatic back in the day. Not like obsessed, but I did like watch all of her videos, and I think it's a valid thing. I think influencers do not deserve the hate they get, or most of them don't. If they're bad people, maybe. Oh God, why can I not say things without just like going on 10 tangents? But yeah, I don't really connect with the whole full-time influencer thing, but I do create content as a full-time job, and I am so blessed to be able to do that. And when I say like a full-time job, I'm not rolling in money, guys. Like, I am not absolutely balling. Part of that's probably because I just refuse to work with brands that I don't align with or that I don't love, because obviously the way that influencers make money is to partner with brands, but I cannot go online and post about something that I just hate or like don't believe in. So yeah, I feel like it's not what I expected it to be. I didn't think that there would be so many cool events that come with it, because I'm just a person, you're inviting me to a premiere. Like, I don't know how I fit in here. But that is another thing. I do feel a lot of the time like I don't fit in, because I feel like such an ordinary person. You go to events and there's these people that are so like made up and flawless and absolutely just like intimidatingly stunning, and I'm just there like this little anxious thing in the corner. Like, I think it's hard. It's a very strange industry and a strange world as well, because once you're kind of considered an influencer, I think people tend to forget that you're human. Like, you'll get comments on posts or DMs and it's like, I'm a person reading that. Like, how did you not think that that would impact me in some way? I don't think I really expected anything from it, because it wasn't a conscious choice to become a full-time content creator. This is a very roundabout way of saying, like, it's an amazingly privileged job, but it's also very strange. I got a lot of questions about Ireland and if I'm Irish and where in Ireland I'm from. As you can probably tell by my voice, I was not born in Ireland, but my mum's side of the family are from Dundalk, which is really funny because I used to get Dundalk confused with Dunkirk, and when they released the movie Dunkirk, I was like, Mum, they've made a movie about Dunkirk, and she was like, okay, I thought that was in Ireland. I have been to Dundalk, but I went to Donegal like every summer when I was a kid on holiday, and it's my favourite place in the world, and the one specific beach that we used to go to all the time and that we went to last year actually, I have tattooed. Obviously my name is Irish, wasn't born in Ireland, mum's side of the family Irish. I hope that answers like all the questions. Guys, I feel like my brain is just not, it's not happening today. It's not working. I don't know if it's the weather, but I hope what I'm saying is like making a little bit of sense. Someone said, do you plan on posting more on YouTube again? Absolutely yes. I'm dying to get back into it. I just haven't had the time, which is so annoying. But I do feel like a Q&A, a life update will then trigger me to like start making vlogs again. How did you get to know Grace and Sarah? Been loving your content with them. Thank you so much. I've really loved making content with Grace and Sarah, and they're just such lovely people. We actually did a Q&A on Grace's channel, which I will leave linked in the description if you want to go check that out. And I'm going to film some videos with them too next time I see them. I met them through the Instagram Wellness Collective. I was part of the Instagram Wellness Collective? Wellbeing Collective. They were part of it too. So we met at the first event for that last year, and they were just immediately the sort of people I clicked with. I didn't feel overly anxious around them, like I felt more like I could be myself around them. We met at more events, and then we kind of just started going to events together, and now we just hang out. And they're just such lovely, down-to-earth people, like so understanding, not judgmental. I just love them. I think they're great. But yeah, that's how I got to know them. Okay, these are all from the same person. Has your ADHD diagnosis helped you? What ADHD medication do you take? And do you have CPTSD? Has my ADHD diagnosis helped me? Yes, oh my god, yes. From the kind of time that I started realizing like, oh, maybe this has been why I felt the way I have my whole life, I've started to be so much kinder to myself and understand myself a lot more, which has really helped me. But I did also have that like imposter syndrome kind of worry, where I tell myself that like, I don't actually have ADHD, I'm just really lazy and like useless. Oh god. My camera just ran out of storage. This happens every time I film. This is what I mean, like I'm not blaming everything I do on ADHD, but I used to be like, why do I never think anything through? And then I was like reading ADHD symptoms and I was like, oh, maybe that's what that is. So yeah, my ADHD diagnosis definitely helped me understand myself more, but also find ways that work for my brain, that work for ADHD brains to help myself. Because this is the thing that annoys me. It's like, I see so many people going, oh my god, everyone's trying to diagnose themselves with ADHD. And it's like, well, like maybe people getting diagnosed with ADHD will mean that they can actually stop being nice to themselves and find ways that actually work for them to help them to function in life. Like, do you really think people would just diagnose themselves with ADHD or get a diagnosis for the shits and giggles? I personally have only had positive things come from my ADHD diagnosis. Yeah, people talk about using it as an excuse for things, and it's like, God, why do you care? Like, why are you so mad at other people for like struggling? I don't know why I'm going on a rant here, but like I just get really frustrated when people act like ADHD is not real and everyone just diagnoses himself with it. Like, if someone gets a diagnosis and it helps them flourish in life, why are you mad about it? What ADHD medication do you take? I actually take Concerta because Elvance, obviously there was a stock issue with it, and so I got put on Concerta, and so far it has been really helping me. So I'm hoping that it continues. Do you have CPTSD? I didn't really realize that there's like CPTSD is like a very specific thing, because on my like written diagnoses it says I have complex PTSD. My PTSD happened over, like it wasn't one event, if you know what I mean. So I think somehow that makes it complex. I don't really know. I don't necessarily relate to all the complex PTSD like symptoms and stuff, so I don't really know. I know that my PTSD is complex, but I also don't know if I have CPTSD, if you know what I mean. But then maybe I do. I don't know, basically. I try not to like overly worry about the labels of things because I think that that can kind of keep people stuck sometimes. So many questions about whether I'm gonna have kids. Like, not right now, I'm 22 and I feel like I'm 14, so I feel like I'm not really prepared to have children. But yeah, definitely eventually. I've always wanted kids. I used to want like 8. I used to be like, I'm gonna have so many children. Now I'm probably like, you know, anywhere between 2 and 4 would be great. But I'm hopeful that I will be able to have children, and I've always wanted to be a mother. Like, I have always felt very maternal, so yes, definitely do want kids. How do you feel with hate online, and were you afraid to start YouTube because of what others might say? Do you know what? I actually don't know how I ended up doing social media with the way that I worry about what other people think of me. Like, I'm not so bad now, probably because I do social media, but back then, like, I was scared to do my makeup even slightly differently when I was at school because I was constantly scared of other people judging me. Like, I've always been terrified of what other people think of me. So I don't really know how I found the courage to start YouTube. I think I didn't think that anyone would see it, and I thought that only people in anorexia recovery and stuff would see it. But then obviously some of my TikToks went viral and people from my school were like seeing my content, and I was like, oh, so embarrassing. And then I just kind of embraced it and was like, this is helping people, why would I be embarrassed of that? So the anxiety was definitely there to start with. I think I just didn't really think that other people would see it. And now I'm kind of like, this is just cool. Like, this is really cool. Has my camera gone really dark? Or has the light changed outside? Someone said, do you want a real... I just kicked my phone on the floor. I think this is going to be the last question I answer because the light is fading and things are going wrong. Someone said, do you think you want a real job later in life? I'm not taking that as an insult because I know they wouldn't have meant it rudely, but I do think that content creation is a real job, to be honest. Like, anything that makes you a living and you consider to be what you do for work, I think is a real job. This probably was meant to say, like, do you want a kind of standard, average, normal job, if you know what I mean? Because obviously content creation is very different to like your average 9 to 5 or, you know, job that you would go through university to get. And yeah, I've always wanted that. When I realised that I couldn't go to uni and I wasn't going to get my A-levels, I was very upset because I always wanted that traditional path in life, and having to let go of that was quite difficult for me. So yeah, I definitely would like to do a more standard job one day. I quite like the idea even of doing a couple shifts a week as a healthcare support worker or something like that, because I've always wanted to be hands-on helping people. And I do also know that like there are ways to access education as I get older if that's something I want to do, but right now content creation is really working for me, and I've been so lucky to work with some brands that I absolutely love, and it's going well for me at the moment. So I'll see where it takes me, but I'm also very aware that content creation and social media, it doesn't last forever. I don't know. I worry that it won't anyway. But yeah, one day I would like to do something a little bit more normal, and yeah, when I felt I could commit to it, I probably would, maybe even volunteering or something. There's a girl I follow called Katie Budenberg. I really don't know if I've just absolutely botched her last name, but I saw that she was like volunteering, I think like once a week or something in a charity shop, and I was like, that's so cool, because this job can be quite lonely as well. Like, even though it seems like, well, you've got so many people on social media, you know, that would want to talk to you, it's like you're not seeing anyone in real life most of the time, so it can be quite lonely. But yeah, content creation to me is a real job because I know that I am helping people through making my content as well. Like, I know that I work hard to make the content that I make, and it took me a long time to kind of understand that it was okay for me to make money from doing it as well, because I never intended for this to be a job. I never intended to be a content creator, but actually content creation takes up a lot of my time, and I'm putting out things to try and help people, and I don't think that it's wrong that I can make a living from it because I put a lot of effort and a lot of work into it. And it's like, you know, YouTubers who make gaming content, like, they're making entertainment for people and they're providing an entertainment service, and that's why they get paid for it. And I don't feel like I'm being paid for my recovery. I feel like I'm being paid for the work I'm putting in to try and help others. That's how I see it anyway. And yeah, as I said, I'm very picky with who I work with, because I'm not going to be promoting stuff that I think would harm my audience, or that I just don't think would be helpful, or that I don't like. But yeah, to me this is a real job right now, and maybe one day I will go completely silent online and you'll never see me again. I'll just be working remotely somewhere. You never know. This is taking a turn. I am going to end the video here. As I said, I will leave links in the description for things I spoke about. Please follow me on Instagram because I'm actually more active over there, and TikTok now. I'm back on the old TikTok-y, which we love. And yeah, please like and subscribe as well, because if you subscribe, it means that you will see my face again. I think I should shut up because my brain is it's not working. But yeah, I love you lots, and I will see you very soon.